If you've ever sent out 100 job applications and heard nothing back, it's not you, it's the system. The job search is broken, and I am going to prove it. In this episode, I'll break down why online portals are a black hole and the real reason your resume gets ignored. How one of my clients landed a job in 21 days without applying the traditional approach. If you're tired of feeling invisible, ghosted, or stuck in your job search, this episode is your wake-up call. Hey everyone, this is Renee Frey from Talent Q, and you're listening to the Conscious Professional Podcast. More people than ever want to be happy in their career and personal life, but they're going about it all wrong. I'm here to set the record straight and emphasize the importance of prioritizing your mindset. Whether this is your first episode or your 50th, I'm so grateful you're here. You're in the right place. Ever feel like you're doing everything right in your job search but getting nowhere? You're updating your resume, you're tweaking it for every job that you apply for. You apply to roles that you're more than qualified for. You follow up after interviews. You're even networking when you can. And yet, crickets. No interviews, no job offers, just radio silence. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know this. You're not alone, and you're not the problem. The problem is the system itself, because the job search game wasn't designed to reward effort. It was designed to reward visibility. And most people are playing by the wrong rules. Let's talk about one of the biggest traps in the job search: believing that applying online is the most effective way to get hired. It feels productive, right? You find a role that sounds perfect, you click apply now, maybe answer a few screening questions, and boom, you feel like you made some progress today. But here's the truth most people don't know. Less than 2% of online applicants get an interview. Let that sink in. That means if 100 people apply to a job, maybe 2 will get a call back. Why? Because of something called the applicant tracking system, or ATS. It's software companies use to scan, sort, and eliminate resumes before a human ever sees them. And your resume might be full of experience, leadership, and results. But if it doesn't have the right keywords or formatting, it's getting filtered out. And then there's the big lie. Hitting the apply button and submitting your application makes it feel like you're taking action. But it's a trap. It leads to volume over strategy. You apply for 20 jobs in 20 minutes, but all you're doing is throwing your name into a digital black hole alongside hundreds, even thousands of others. It's like throwing darts at a dartboard in the dark and hoping one hits the bullseye, instead of walking up to the hiring manager and shaking their hand. When you apply to a job posting online, you're going in completely cold. They don't know your name. They don't recognize who you are. They've never heard your story. You're just another file in the sea of applicants, one more PDF in their ATS, one more resume in their system, and unless your resume happens to match a set of automated keywords perfectly, it likely won't even be seen by a real human. There's no context, no personal connection, no one vouching for you. Online applications create the illusion of momentum, but in reality, they're keeping you invisible. But when you build relationships first, when you connect and engage and get referred, you go in warm. And in today's hiring world, that makes all the difference. Because the truth is, people hire people they trust. People that they've heard about from a colleague. People who came recommended. People who show up in their inbox not as a stranger, but as someone who already made an impression. The job search system doesn't reward the most qualified candidate. It rewards the most visible one. And that's where the shift needs to happen. We've been taught that talent speaks for itself, that if you work hard, get the right experience, put it all on a polished resume, the right opportunity will find you. That's not how it works. Today, visibility trumps talent almost every time. And here's why. Internal referrals often beat even the most qualified online applicants. Not because referred candidates are better, because they come with built-in trust. And I saw this play out every single day when I worked at Target as a recruiter. I saw how the system really worked behind the scenes. Referrals weren't just helpful, they were golden. If someone on the team referred a candidate, that application didn't sit in the same pile as everyone else. It bypassed AI screening entirely and shot straight to the top of the list. We had an internal tool that flagged those names and routed them directly to the top of the applicant pool. And get this, we as recruiters even had a service level agreement, an SLA, to make sure every single referral was reviewed within 10 days. That's how seriously we took referrals. Not because those candidates were better, but because they came in with built-in trust. And that trust gave them instant visibility. And in this system, visibility is everything. And if that referral came from a senior leader or an executive, that candidate didn't just get flagged. They got a call every single time. We had a dedicated team that handled those referrals. Their entire job was to fast-track applicants who came through executive connections. It didn't matter if they checked every single box on the job description or even if we had an open role that matched their background. What they brought was even more powerful than a perfect fit. Credibility. They had someone influential saying, "Take a look at this person." And that alone was enough to move them forward. They weren't just another resume. They were a signal. This person matters. They didn't sit at the bottom of a 300-person applicant pool. They didn't get screened by AI. They were immediately handed off to a recruiter, often alongside an internal email thread vouching for them. Meanwhile, more experienced candidates who had applied online without a referral, they were often invisible. Not because they weren't qualified, but no one opened the door for them. That was the moment I realized, even if someone has all the right experience, if they're not referred, they're invisible. And that's when it clicked. Relationships change the entire game. When someone inside the company vouches for you, you instantly skip the stranger danger stage. You're seen as safer, more reliable, and worth the interview before anyone even looks at your resume. A recruiter or hiring manager will almost always choose the candidate who was referred by someone they trust over a random applicant from the internet, even if that applicant has more experience. Why? Because trust lowers risk. Hiring is a gamble. It's expensive. It's time-consuming, and the wrong hire can cost tens of thousands, not just in salary, but in lost time, team morale, and productivity. So when a trusted colleague or employee says, "Hey, I know someone who would be a perfect fit for this," that referral is a built-in endorsement. Think about it. Would you rather interview a stranger whose only proof is what's written on a resume? Or talk to someone pre-vetted by someone you already trust? It's human nature. When someone comes recommended, they skip the line. They go from unknown to worth a conversation instantly. And even if the referred candidate doesn't meet every single qualification, They still get the interview because the hiring manager knows it won't be a waste of time. Meanwhile, the more experienced, highly qualified applicant who applied online, they might never be seen, buried under hundreds of other resumes, filtered by an algorithm. That's the power of relationships. That's the power of visibility. And today, who knows you matters just as much, if not more, than what you know. Hiring managers don't hire the best person on paper. They hire the person they know. The person who's been vouched for, the person who feels like low risk, high reward choice. A stellar resume is important, but that's not enough. In a pile of 300 resumes, even the most qualified candidate is invisible if no one is looking for them specifically. The goal is to be known before you apply, to be the person who pops into the hiring manager's mind when they think, who do I know that could do this job? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about your talent. It's about who sees it. And here's the thing. When you've been ghosted over and over and you've spent hours customizing applications and getting nothing in return, that starts to wear on you. You begin to question your own value. You wonder, what am I doing wrong? You start thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe it's me. But I want you to hear this loud and clear. It's not your worth that's an issue. It's your strategy. The system is flawed, and the flawed system has made incredibly capable, talented professionals feel stuck, invisible, and discouraged. But here's the shift that changes everything. Stop waiting to be chosen and start choosing yourself. Because when you believe you have something valuable to offer, you stop chasing validation. You stop refreshing your inbox waiting for a response. Instead, you take the lead. You start showing up with intention, confidence, and clarity. That's the power of mindset, and that's what opens doors. So if applying online doesn't work, what should you be doing instead? It comes down to one thing: relationships. Not just for the job you want right now, today, tomorrow, but for the opportunities you want 5, 10, even 15 years down the line. This isn't about getting hired. It's about building career capital. Most people only start networking when they're desperate, after they've been laid off or they hit a wall. But that's reactive. Strategic professionals stay connected. They maintain relationships. They plant seeds long before they need a harvest. Because let's be honest, every major opportunity in your career will likely come from a relationship, a recommendation, a conversation, not a cold application. So what should you be doing instead? I'm going to walk you through it. There are 3 powerful moves that can completely shift your job search. First, you've got to start building relationships before the job is even posted. That means staying in touch with your network when you don't need anything. It's not just about being top of mind for today. It's about building your future opportunities. The best time to build your network isn't when you're job searching. It's before you need anything. Start showing up now. Engage with people in your industry. Reach out to former coworkers. Stay in touch. Not because you need something today, but because you're thinking long term. And when the time comes, these are the people who will remember you, refer you, and recommend you. Second, you need to leverage LinkedIn and warm introductions. It's not just about optimizing your profile. It's about being active, visible, and known. And when you see someone connected to a company that you're targeting, ask for that intro. It works. LinkedIn is so much more than an online resume. It's a visibility platform. Start posting your perspective. Comment thoughtfully on others' content. Be known for something. And don't be afraid to ask for warm intros. Send one of your pals a message like, hey, I saw you are connected to someone at this company. Would you please introduce me to them? This is 10 times more effective than applying through an online portal. And third, if you want to position yourself as the obvious choice before you even apply, do your research. Engage with the company. Tailor your online presence so when your name comes up, the hiring manager is already thinking, yeah, I've heard of them. Let's bring them in. This is where strategy beats applying everywhere and hoping for the best. Because let's be honest, more applications doesn't mean more results. It just means more energy spent without a clear direction. So, what does work? Being intentional, being visible, known before you ever hit submit. Do your homework, understand what the company values, tailor your LinkedIn and resume so it speaks directly to the role, and more importantly, to the culture. Start engaging with their employees, follow their company, share their posts, tag them. And here's a powerful move most people overlook. Ask for introductions. If you see someone in your network who's connected to a company that you want to work for, reach out and say, hey, I noticed you're connected to someone at ABC company. Would you be open to making a quick intro? Doesn't have to be anything formal or fancy. People are more than willing to help you. And that one introduction could be the difference between being overlooked and being invited to an interview. So when your name finally crosses their desk, they think, oh yeah, I've seen them. Let's bring them in. That's how you skip the line. That's how you land opportunities other candidates never even knew existed. Because in today's world, it's not about who applies first. It's about who's known first. And I've seen this play out time and time again with my clients. Take one of my recent clients, Rachel, for example. She was qualified, driven, and more than ready for her next opportunity. But like so many others, she was stuck in the endless cycle of online applications and ghosting. So we shifted her strategy, focused on relationship building and visibility. Not just polishing her resume and helping her show up like the obvious choice. And let me tell you what happened. Her friend Mark introduced her to a former colleague of his named Nikki. He sent a warm email to Nikki with a glowing recommendation for Rachel, along with her resume attached. That simple introduction changed everything because Rachel wasn't just another name in a database. She came with trust, with context, with someone vouching for her. Nikki took one look at Rachel's background and was so impressed. She immediately passed her along to the hiring manager with a personal endorsement. And within a week, Rachel had an interview. And within 21 days, she had a job offer. No cold applications, no fighting with algorithms, just the power of being known and referred. Rachel's story is proof that the right strategy changes everything. So if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, here are your next steps. Audit your current job search habits. What's actually working? What's just keeping you busy? Be honest with yourself. Number 2, start reaching out to decision makers this week. Introduce yourself. Ask questions, build relationships before you need them. Number 3, focus on building visibility in the industry you want to be in. Post on LinkedIn, comment on relevant content, join conversations, be seen. Because remember, in today's job market, visibility is the new resume. You don't need to be the best applicant on paper. You need to be the one they remember, and that starts with visibility. And if you're ready to take control of your job search and finally get some traction, I've got something to help you get started. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible, so I created the new Job Jumpstart guide just for you. Inside, you'll get the clarity, momentum, and confidence that you need to go after the job you really want. And the best part? It's free. It's complimentary. This guide walks you through the exact steps to take control of your job search, get unstuck, and position yourself as the obvious choice. Download the new Job Jumpstart guide, and you'll find the link in the show notes below. And hey, friends, make sure to tune in next week because we're diving into something that can completely shift the way you approach your career. Clarity creates momentum. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or feel like you're spinning your wheels, it's probably not a motivation problem. It's a clarity problem. And I'll show you how to fix that and get back into forward motion. You won't want to miss it. So the key points from today's episode are, number one, the job search system is broken. Applying online rarely works because it's built to reward visibility, not qualifications. Less than 2% of applicants get interviews through job boards. Number two, referrals beat resumes. When someone refers you, especially from inside the company, you skip the line. Referrals come with built-in trust, and companies prioritize them every single time. And number three, visibility is everything. You don't need to be the best applicant on paper. You need to be the one they remember, and that starts with building relationships and being seen before the job is posted. And number four, download the new Job Jumpstart guide for your step-by-step roadmap to gain clarity, build momentum, and land the job you deserve. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Share this episode with someone you love and go make one change to be better than you were yesterday. Live your life with intention. I believe in you. And I'm here to help as many people as possible. So if you would, please hit the follow button so we can grow our community of conscious professionals. Whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find the button at the top of the page. See you next week. Cheers, everyone.